I'm Dr. Cindy Davis Evans. Welcome to a special edition of The Cindy Davis Show. Today we are graced with royalty, legends whose talents, music, and stories have shaped the soundtrack of our lives and inspired generations. But first, I want to say congratulations to all on your prestigious Enthrone Entertainment nomination. That includes Shelley Clark White of the Honeycombs and Gene Chandler, who could not join us today. And to all the class of 2024 nominees, congratulations. Last but not least, I want to give an honor to Andre Pittman, CEO of Enthrone Entertainment, for this opportunity. Today, I'm joined by an extraordinary group of guests, each one a vital thread in the fabric of American music history. Whether they worked behind the scenes or stood in the spotlight, their contributions are legendary. I am honored to welcome Stephanie Spruill, the.blinky.williams, Janie Bradford, Melvin Franklin Jr., and Robin Stoker. All right, I'm so glad everybody's here. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. It's going to be such a wonderful conversation, and people are interested in hearing about your careers, your legendaries, your royalty, and I just thank you for being here. Stephanie.
Yes.
What did it mean for you to be nominated twice, I believe it was, for an Enthrone Entertainment Award? Tell us about that.
Oh, it was such a blessing to receive the award. Andre Pittman is a gem. I mean, he's really giving awards to people who, it's not like we're unsung, because we are, everybody knows, around the world, because all of us are international. However, he's given us our flowers while we're here. So I'm just blessed to receive the Enthrone Award, and twice, because the other one burnt up in the fire in Altadena. So, yeah, but I'm blessed. That's what it means to me for the body of work that I have done over the many, 50 plus years.
Blinky, tell us what it means to you, and how did you feel about receiving this?
Well, thank you for having me on your show. I can't even express. I was totally blown away. And I called Janie, who's been with me for the first day of my career at Motown. And I said, what did I do? Why did you give me an award? And I was just out. It was a blessing. It was encouraging. And it showed me that God had not forgotten me, and someone recognized me. And so it meant a lot. I've shown it to so many people.
Oh, wow.
I was thrilled. He is a phenomenal individual, and then to reach out and include Blinky with all these greats, I'm just honored. I praise God for it, and I'm really grateful.
Oh, that's a blessing. Thank you for sharing. Janie Bradford, you've had so much to share over the industry, in the music industry. How did it feel for you to how did it feel to have this legacy formally recognized by Enthrone?
Well, it felt unreal. It did. I was used to giving awards to others, and to receive one myself, it was the cream on the crop, or top, or whatever. I think Andre, this is his third year for doing this for a lot of artists that celebrities that may not have received an award from anybody, wouldn't receive an award for anybody had he not done this. So it's a star in his crown that he continued to celebrate all these celebrities that just need a pat on the back.
Oh, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
Melvin, can you tell us what it means to you to receive this honor at this time in your life?
Well, first of all, I'm a candle in the sun. I appreciate being amongst, all of these legends, but I myself was not nominated for anything. I accepted it on behalf of the legendary Temptations. I was fortunate enough to be in the building. I was there to support Mr. Ron Hasley and his nomination. And when it came time to present for the Temptations, he screamed out my name. And Mr. Ron screamed out my name, and was like, Melvin Franklin Jr., you get up there and get the award. And so I was able to accept on behalf of the Temps, and just being attached to that legacy as I am continuing to learn, as I'm continuing to grow. It's a phenomenal privilege. It really is.
That's a blessing. Robin, let's hear from you. Tell us about where you were and how did you learn that you were nominated for Enthrone?
Well, first of all, I thought it was a hoax. I thought, I was like, is this somebody trying to get into my bank account? But I was completely floored, and I watched Andre, and my thing is I'm a more behind the scenes person. I like to get behind people and help them shine. And to even know that I'm being watched, so to speak, and to be honored in this way was phenomenal for me. I just, like I said, I'm still, excited about it. And my friends are teasing me about it. And I just think it's great. And I think Andre is really, really a force, because for him to even think and donate his time to do this, to help all these wonderful, awesome people get their flowers while they're still here, is just an amazing thing.
Wow, that's awesome. So let's go back to Stephanie. Stephanie, you are a world-renowned vocalist, percussionist, vocal coach, and your voice has graced over 1,400 recordings and films. You toured with Julio Iglesias. When you look back over all these accomplishments, how does it make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel great. It makes me feel like what God has bestowed on me, all the knowledge, that I've learned over the years, and to give it back, like with my School of Voice and Artist Development, and with my book, 17 Points to Longevity in Show Business, like with being with all of these artists. And it just feels, I'm honored to have been with them, and that they respected me enough to write arrangements and, sing and write songs, with Jeff Lorber, all the things that I've done. I'm just feel blessed and honored. Yes.
Are there any stories you would like to share about touring with Julio Iglesias?
Well, you know what? It's soccer. The time now is soccer. And we were in Spain. I'm thinking of this one. And we had just performed for the King of Spain. And we were, at the time, we were in this arena. It was like 50,000 people inside and another 20 outside, right? Because the soccer fans are amazing. But the ones who would come to Julio Iglesias concerts they just loved him. And at that time, Maradona was the king of soccer. After Pele, then there was Maradona. And Julio, we're singing and everything. And then Julio, when he started, he was a soccer goalie back in the day when he was a kid, before he became a singer. So Maradona was backstage. He kicked the ball, the soccer ball, past my face to Julio, and the people went crazy. And the people outside of the arena went crazy. And then when Julio hit the ball with his head back to Maradona, and then Maradona came on stage, and it was just phenomenal. It was part of something that I had ever experienced, with so much joy and so much love for the sport, for Julio, for what we were doing, because I was singing, as time goes by, the duet with him when this was going on. So I'm like, balls flying. So it was it was phenomenal. And I have so many stories, but that's a good one, because we're in soccer.
Yeah, that is too funny. That's a memorable. Now, Barry Gordy once said that you reminded him of Eartha Kitt and Sarah Vaughan. Can you tell us?
Wow.
Yeah, Barry, when I was singing at an event, and I think it was the the bowling for the Gordy bowling, and I was doing my thing. I think I was doing Fever. And Barry, after I finished, and he says, "Oh, you remind me of Eartha Kitt," and I said, like,
You still got that, huh?
yes. So
Yeah. Blinky. Oh my goodness. Blinky, thank you for joining me.
Thank you
Um,
for having me.
Now, your real name is Sandra.
Yes.
But where did Blinky come from?
When I was in high school, a guy came into the library and he was trying to hit on my friend. And we were sitting there at the desk, and in fact, he wanted to play with the Washington Redskins. He said, "What is your name?" And she told him her name. And he looked over at me and says, "What is your name, Blinky?" Because I was blinking, and that's been ever since I was in the 10th grade.
Wow. Wow. Now, you are a gospel powerhouse and Motown artist known for your soul-stirring vocals and spiritual foundation. You toured with Sammy Davis Jr., Andre Crouch. What was this experience like for you being so young?
It was strange because I was a PK.
Oh my goodness.
I was a PK. My education, a lot of my early education actually came from Motown. Janie Bradford taught me a whole lot. In fact, can I share something with you?
Sure.
The first day at Motown, they were having this big meeting, and we were in the Woodward building. And I was wearing a blue church hat, a little short mini blue dress, and I opened the door, walked into this meeting. There was Janie Bradford, Berry Gordy, Suzanne DePass, Norman Whitfield. The list goes on. Marvin Gaye, and I just froze, and I backed out. I backed out the door. Billie Jean Brown. I backed out the door, and about 5 minutes later, here comes Janie. And Jenny said, "Little girl, are you looking for something? Are you the little girl from Hollywood?" I felt so bad. "Are you the little girl from the Hollywood office?" And I said, "Yes." And she says, "Okay, Mr. Gordy will be with you in a few minutes." And I was in the bathroom, slouched down on the floor. I slid down the wall because I was so embarrassed walking in there. And I found out later on this was a high-end quality control meeting. And so she explained that to me, and she says, "If you're really good, like they say you are, we'll be discussing you one day in that meeting and see if you could have a record release." And so a few minutes later, she came back into the bathroom and told me that Mr. Gordy was going to meet me in this room. So I go in this room, and here comes Smokey, and here comes Barry. So they said, who's that? Smokey introduced himself and introduced him to Barry. He says, "Okay, sing something." And Barry says, "Yeah, sing a Motown song." I said, "I don't know any Motown. I don't know any songs from Motown." So he got on the piano and he started playing. So I said, "Well, can I just play for myself and sing something?" So they had already gotten my acetates, but just wanted to hear me sing in person. And I got on the piano. I didn't know what else to sing. I sang "Precious Lord."
Yeah.
And then I sang and played "Our Day Will Come," and says, "Yeah, you could sing, but you need to learn some Motown songs, you know."
That is just amazing. What was it like being on tour with Sammy Davis Jr.?
Totally amazing, totally amazing. Just it was like being on the road with the Temps. Every night there was a different show. He was relentless. He knew that on Sundays I liked to go to church. So a couple of times I took the limousine and his driver to church before a matinee. And one time I was late, and when I got back, he says, "So I understand that you went to church?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Okay, well, no more church on Sundays. You can put church in your act." So he had me add 15 minutes to my act. And it was good. I met Mario Puzo and, the Rat Pack. It was really fun. He taught me how to, how to bow, how to use my hands. I did 45 minutes on his show, and I stayed with him for 7 years.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing. Robin, you have some story to tell. You tell us about your duties with. I mean, you worked with Marvin Gaye.
Yeah. That was a highlight of my life, actually. One of the highlights of my life working with him. I mean, of course, I grew up with Motown. The music is a soundtrack of my life, as to many others. And it was he was so talented, and he was so, intense with his music. And he sometimes didn't even rehearse with the band. He just step out there when McKinley Jackson finished he would play the overture, and Marvin would step out and sing like he's been rehearsing all day long. There were lots of funny stories in terms of him and how, he could be so, he could be difficult, but not in a bad way, in an interesting way. And I learned so much. I got to meet Frank Sinatra. I got to meet and hang out with Wayne Newton and just everybody. And it was just, well, I mean, I lost 15 pounds on that tour, but it was it was just amazing. Every night was amazing, every single night. And he was always, there and ready to do it. I mean, we got the plug pulled on us a couple of times for going over, but because we were late, but all of it was just a joy. And it was a hell of a ride the whole time, and it afforded me the opportunity to meet a lot of people and be involved in a lot of other things that, extenuated out to the rest of my life, even after he passed. So, but, the highlights of my life, I can say too, was just meeting and working with Janie on the HAL Awards. I think that was the other, intense moment for me, because I was the whole time pinching myself. Am I really here working with Janie Bradford on the HAL Awards and giving awards to all these people and hobnobbing with this and one and that one, and everything was just awesome. I've had an awesome time, and I'm continuing, and all this is kind of this, and including this Enthrone and this whole, radio interview today has helped me, makes me feel like there's so much more to give and so much more to do. So this is an excellent thing.
Absolutely. Let's backtrack a little bit, because when you were a child, just a tot, you performed for the poet Langston Hughes.
Yes.
Wow. That was a big deal.
Yeah. I went to a church. I was a part of it. My aunt, she was a big member of a church called Washington Temple. And it was a very big church in Brooklyn. And it was originally a movie theater. So you can imagine how large it was. We had a balcony and everything. And I was very into it with her. I went to church every Sunday, choir practice every Monday, and eat dinner at the church, come back for the evening broadcast. I was a real church kid then, And so myself and what's his name? I can't even think of it all of a sudden. Myself and Al Sharpton, we were all part of the same group in the choir. We were called the Celestial Echoes. And they told her, hey, Langston Hughes is coming and we're going to do a program for him at the church. And we want, Al's going to preach. He was about 6, because he and I are close in age, maybe some months apart. And Robin, you're going to sing the solo for Yes, Jesus Loves Me. So it went. And that was my first introduction to stage fright. And I realized then that this ain't for me. I'm more of the behind the scene person, like I said before. But it was just a joy and it was an honor. Of course, at that time, I didn't realize how major and big that was. Right. But as of course, the years went on, and I learned more and read his writings and stuff, and learned what a figure he was and a force he was in the African American community and in the world. I really learned to cherish it. I was just looking the other day through some boxes, because since my husband passed a couple of years back now, I've been going through things, and I found a little picture of me with a little mic around my neck, and I was like, oh my God, it took me all the way back there. But music has always been in me and part of me.
That is amazing, amazing story. Melvin, you are the son of the legendary Temptations, Melvin Franklin.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Tell us about your legacy. Now, first of all, I want to say that your boy name is
This is gonna be funny. Go ahead.
David Melvin English. So yeah.
Wait, no. Say that again. I'm sorry.
Your father's born name.
Yes.
David Melvin English? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Okay. Why the name change?
It wasn't a name change. His legal name was still, to his dying day, was David Melvin English. Franklin came from his mother, Mama Rose. Her married name was Franklin.
Okay.
So, due to situations with his stepfather, sorry about that. When he was forced kind of to use his stepfather's last name instead of his own name, because all of the rest of the children in the house had the same last name as Franklin. And so when he got on with the Temps, who were the Distance at first, he was going with his middle name, which was Melvin, and his mother's married name, which was Franklin, and it just stuck. So when they signed with Motown, he signed as Melvin Franklin. And so that's why the world knows Melvin Franklin instead of David English.
Mm-hmm.
We do shows like this so we can find out those little
Absolutely.
things, you know. What was it like growing up a Temptation son?
Well, when I was young, I didn't understand, I guess, the magnitude of it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really like people finding out.
Why is that?
Well, because I felt as though, well, two things. One, I was no longer allowed to be authentically myself. And two, I could never trust people's motives.
Wow.
Because once you find out that my father is a celebrity, now you treat me differently. And so I kept that part, for the most part, pretty much under wraps for the vast majority of my younger life.
Oh, wow. Okay. When did they begin to realize that you were Melvin Franklin's son?
Well, how most things get exposed, through people just blabbing and running their mouths. You know, by the way, that's Melvin's son, right? And so eventually I just came to accept it. And as years progressed, I learned to embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not of my own doing. But when you are part of something, you're part of a legacy like this, it's not, for what I've learned, it's not for me to keep buried, to keep hidden. He didn't spend 37 years of his life dedicated to his craft for me to hide, So, it's in recent years here, I've come to actually embrace the fact that I am his son.
Are you following in his footsteps with the music career?
I am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
I am. I currently am blessed and privileged to sing with Glenn Leonard's Temptations review.
Wow.
Right now.
Fantastic.
So we just came back from the Netherlands a few weeks back, and I am the furthest thing from my mind. I never in a million years would have thought it would occur, but here I am on stage singing my father's songs. And it's a surreal experience. It really is. I can only imagine, what you ladies have actually experienced being in the trenches, building this thing that I am now humbly trying to carry along. But, you guys were actually in the construction phase of it, So So this whole thing is still surreal. Like, I'm sitting here being interviewed with all of these legends, and I'm just somebody's kid, you know, like at the end of the day. Like, so it's all very, very surreal.
Wow. If there was one thing that you can share that you've learned from your father, I know he passed away at only like 52, is that correct?
He was 52 when he passed, yes.
Yeah, and how old were you?
I was in middle school.
You was in middle school. Okay. You have any fond memories that you want to share? Maybe one about your father?
I can remember I had one opportunity to go on tour with him, and only 3 cities. We did Atlanta, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. And I remember we were in the hotel room and we had just ordered room service. And I don't remember exactly what the food was, but I do remember he ordered ice cream. And he ordered the ice cream. And we sat and we watched television for like maybe a half an hour or so before he had to go sound check. And right before he went out the door, he got to his ice cream. By then it had been melted. And the reason why this sticks out in my mind is because I remember asking him about it. Say, well, why would you order the ice cream just to let it melt? And he turned to me with this incredulous look on his face, like I was the world's biggest fool. He says, "What? You've never heard of ice cream soup?" And but you know, that whole experience was great. I got to go out on stage and do the Losing You closer, where we're all doing it and going off the stage and everything. So it was a great experience. It really was. But that was the last time I saw my father alive.
That was the last time you saw your father alive?
Was during that tour. Next time I saw his face was on the news when it had been announced that he passed.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear about that. Yeah, that must have been devastating for you too, but I'm glad you can talk about it now.
Oh, absolutely. It's I'm learning so much more about my father now that I am attempting to follow his footsteps, more than I ever could have known in life.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. That is a beautiful story.
Absolutely.
Miss Janie Bradford. Oh my goodness. Motown royalty lyricist of the timeless hit, a co-lyricist of the timeless hit Money.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I need
And co-writer for countless classics.
That's what I want.
What was your inspiration for co-writing Money?
Well, Mr. Gordy was already playing the music, writing the music, and he was in this recording studio, and I walked in, and he said, I need a title, and I need something that everybody wants. And I said, Money, that's what I want. So that stuck, and it became the title of the song.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. So that song is timeless. People are still re-recording that song. How do you feel about that?
I feel good about that. It keeps me eating.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah, I was just watching a film, and it was on this film, that new film that Robert De Niro has, where he plays both characters to these gangsters, and they were playing it. They were just a couple of nights ago.
Yep.
Well, isn't that
like,
something?
oh.
Who sang the song originally, though?
Baird Strong.
Oh, Barrett Strong.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So how long did it take y'all to write Money?
Oh, God, maybe 20 minutes.
See, the most profound stuff is normally the simplest. Right?
Some songs you labor
Wow.
over days, and you try to find the right words, and some just happen like that. It just kept rolling, verse after verse, and there we were.
My goodness. Did you sing background on the song at all or anything like that?
Oh my God, I can't sing. Don't you hear this while I'm talking?
Okay. Oh my goodness. This is just you share any story? Is there any story you would like to share? A Motown story? I heard that you got fired from Motown. How long had you been there?
Well, oh no, early on, Mr. Gordon was going out to a meeting, and I think I said something smart to him, so he said, "You're fired." So he went to the meeting and he came back, and I was still sitting there at my desk. And he said, "Didn't I fire you?" I said, "Yes, you did. But I didn't have nowhere to go, so I stayed here." So that was the end of that.
And so, and you stayed there for how long after that? 25 years?
25 years, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So what was some of your duties that you did there besides? I know you did a lot of duties because I hear that you play a lot of roles when you work at Motown.
Well, basically, though, it was in publishing. I did the copyrights and the songwriters' contracts and worked with the songwriters and sessions and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Is there a memorable one that you would like to share? Anything that really sticks out?
Well, I mean, after so many years, and you all day you sing the Four Tops, you sing Marvin Gaye, you sing the Temptations, you sing the Supremes, all these people. So nothing, no more than now with Diana Ross. We were at the studio one Saturday, and it was nobody there except the artist that was recording, and it was kind of dull, nothing to do. So Diana said, "Well, let's rent a car and drive around." I said, "Diana, how are we going to rent a car and we don't have any money?" And she said, "We can rent a car and charge it to Motown. And when the bill comes, we will have our paychecks and we can pay for it." So we rented the car, we did. And by the time the bill came and Mr. Gordy screamed at us, we did have the money and we had to pay for the car.
Pay for the car. Oh my goodness. How much was it? You remember?
Back then, probably not much of anything if our checks would cover it. It wasn't much.
That's funny.
Well, y'all have got some legendary stories that will go down in history. As a matter of fact, Blinky, you sung Good Times theme song.
Right. Mm.
What part did you sing on that song?
I was the female lead.
You was okay. Oh, okay.
Easy Credit Ripoff. That one. Hanging in and jiving.
So are you gonna clear up those lyrics, because we've heard those lyrics mean all kinds of stuff, you know.
The actual lyrics.
Timeline and all.
No. A lot of people say the actual lyrics are just looking out of the window, watching the asphalt grow, thinking of how it all looks hand me down, keeping your head above water, making a way when you can, temporary layoffs, easy credit rip-offs, scratching and surviving, hanging in and jiving, good times, yes. Hey, we lucky we got him.
Diving.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The whole the song is sung by me and Jim Gilstrap. He does the male part, and I do the female part all the way through the song.
That's right.
Okay.
So that's you hitting that high riff at the end.
Yes.
That's you.
Yeah.
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 I heard now they were saying that Rolona was singing that song. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people, because she wrote it, didn't she?
No, she didn't. It was written
Oh,
by
they was
it was
said,
written by
see?
Dave Grusin. She's singing
See,
on
Ruth.
the Jeffersons.
Oh,
Right.
That's her
Oh,
singing on the Jeffersons. Mhm.
Oh,
That's
she
right.
sung on the
Yeah.
Jeffersons.
Yeah,
Right.
moving on up. That was the Jeffersons. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, okay. So that's so you're singing the entire song
Yes.
on Good Times.
Yes.
Wow.
What? That is amazing.
Yes.
I had no idea. See, that's
Yeah.
why I do shows like this to straighten out what's been messed up.
Yeah. But you know, most of my career at Motown, I was on the road with the Temps.
Wow.
I was there discovered. They discovered me at Maverick Flat in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Anybody else want to share a quick story
you
before
know what? The first session I did with Gloria Jones, I sang background on your record, Blinky.
What?
Wow.
Yep, me and Gloria. And
Get out of here.
yes, so that was how I met you. You were
Wow.
just sweet. You were so sweet and pretty, and I said, "Oh God."
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it
I
was
always
me
admired
too.
you.
I knew Robin. I've seen her at some of my shows, and
Yes.
of course, I've known the legendary Janie Bradford. You know, because we used to work together. You remember that, Janie? I would come to you.
I remember.
Yeah.
We all knew everybody, though, just about an Enthrone. We all
Yeah.
worked together, been together.
Yeah, it was like old home week, actually.
It
That was
sure
another
was.
joy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was another joy to see everybody that you had, because everybody's doing their own thing and hustling, and it was because I was amazed at the amount of people that were in that room, and
Yes.
I was just floored. I was just, oh my gosh, everywhere I looked, I'm like, oh my God, there's so and so, there's so. It was really something. Like I said, again, kudos to Andre again.
That's
Yeah.
right. Again,
Yeah.
to see the Duke of Earl.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
That was amazing.
It
Yeah.
was. Everybody.
It was something.
It
the
was
turnout
my
the
first
turnout.
time meeting everybody. Just
Right, but the turnout was really impressive. That was
It
a turnout like nobody's business, man. It
Yeah.
was-
Melvin, with your
Yeah.
voice, it was like we'd known you forever because you had your daddy's voice.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
baritone voice.
Hmm.
Wow. So let me ask you, what would your legacy be, Blinky?
Wow.
I I don't know how to answer that. I need some help. Janie.
Your legacy would be your children.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, it would be my two daughters, Dana and Tori Jo. That's my legacy.
Yeah. Stephanie, what would be your legacy?
Legacy, of course, my daughter. And however, what I've learned, I'm passing it forward. My 17 points to longevity in show business, staying focused on your vision, not somebody else's vision, but the vision that God has put on your heart to come to fruition. And that's my legacy, because my school is international. And so I'm continually teaching people around the world how to stay focused on their vision.
Mhm.
That's my legacy.
Mhm.
Hey, awesome. Janie.
My legacy, I guess, well, I love my children, but my grandchildren,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's my legacy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Robin, what would be your legacy?
Wow. My legacy, of course, would be my children, my grandchildren, and which I cannot believe it, I just became a great grandmother. So I'm really, just mad excited. And like I've always said, my greatest accomplishment was my family, my husband's legacy, which I continue to keep alive. And also, I think I'm still building it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? That's a very interesting point. As long as you're still here, you're still building your legacy.
Come on.
Isn't that true?
That's right.
Blue?
Yes, ma'am.
Do they call you Blue?
Yes, they do.
That's
Just
what we
your
call it.
father.
That's what we call
Blue
it.
shirt on.
Right.
Blue, what would you think your legacy is?
Well, definitely. Well, it's two-part. I am a walking legacy, right? Because of my father. But personally, my primary objective is to be the best father I can to my daughters.
Great. Oh,
So I have
God
four
bless
daughters.
you.
Yeah, I have four daughters that I am fortunate enough to have had full custody of for the past 8 years. And my legacy will be how they go on into the world and, you know, conduct themselves and be productive members of society, whatever they contribute to the world. My primary objective. But as far as your question is concerned, I am my father's legacy.
And that you are. You are. I want to ask one question of Robin real quick, for in regards to record contracts and things like that, since you are behind the scenes and you work in the administrative business side of it. What would be a solid record contract? Real quick.
A solid record contract?
Yes.
Can you explain that quickly? Is that possible?
I'll tell you how quickly. One word: publishing. The publishing. Try to get as much and maintain as much of that as you can. Because that's your, you know, that's your future. That's your money. And if you can work a deal where you can retain some amount of your publishing, and nowadays it's all streaming because that's pennies on the dollar, you know. But if you can, I always say, wow, I wish I had wrote some hit songs like Janie, so I could, like, you know, just go to the mailbox and look in the bank account. But yeah, in all seriousness, to maintain as much control as you can, that is the ideal contract. And, you know, like I say, nowadays, because there's so many outlets streaming here and there, a lot of people tend to make their own deals. So it's not that, you know, cookie cutter type prototype that we once had to go by, which is why a lot of people don't have any money nowadays, because it was taken from them.
Oh wow, yeah, absolutely. That's another story for another time.
That sure is. Yeah,
that's another show. We have to do it.
You better believe it. Yes.
You know, I applaud you all for all your contributions and your legacy, the music that you left behind for the generations to come, for people like me. Thank you for allowing me to talk to you, because this is such a blessing and such an extraordinary experience to even meet you. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing your stories. I pray much success to you and your families as you go forward, and that God will continue to bless you.
Thank
you
you
so much for having me.
Back at you.